Elon Musk is idiosyncratic. He's unhinged sometimes, but there have been other CEOs in history. In fact, a lot of the real movers and shakers in history in our nation have exhibited similar qualities. I mean, you look at Thomas Edison, William Randolph Hearst, Ted Turner. These are people who also, made a lot of headlines by their, frankly, wild and let's just say different behavior. And their personal behavior was sort of tied in to their business behavior as well. So it was all of a piece.
I mean, it's interesting because at first we didn't really hear much of Elon doing things on Twitter. Now it's pretty much all we can talk about. And you mentioned some of these big names, Edison, William Randolph Hearst, and Ted Turner. Just how, say, unique would you say they are or were?
Well, let's just take a few of them, Rochelle. For instance, Thomas Edison, he had 150 questions he would ask job candidates. Then he took them to restaurants and had them order soup. If they put salt and pepper in before trying it, he would never hire them. He fought with the government. He created the electric chair secretly because he said he was against capital punishment. William Randolph Hearst with the Hearst Castle had, just scores of animals in the zoos, all kinds of crazy lions, tigers, bears, jaguars, chimpanzees, cuckoos, everything. He tried to get us into a war with Spain. He ran for president. He collected tens of thousands of pieces of artwork. He was very anti-Asian and believed in interning Japanese citizens during World War II. He became the model for Citizen Kane, Orson Welles' masterpiece. And Ted Turner, the mouth of the South, 83 years old now, but when he was in his prime in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, turned the TV world upside down, has a plan for what CNN is going to air when the end of the world happens, because he says they're going to run till the end of the world. Tried to fight Rupert Murdoch, or try to get him to do a fist fight, the televised in Las Vegas. Tried to take over CBS, won the America's Cup, called people bozos, said global warming would kill us all, got married and divorced, including to Jane Fonda. So these people were larger than life and did a lot of wild and, different things.
So maybe Elon isn't as out there as we initially thought or like to think, at least these days. Andy, I'm curious, though, just to have you weigh in on Elon Musk and Twitter. If, in fact, he is forced to go through with the deal, if he does become the owner of Twitter, what would that look like? And what do you think of the mess that we've seen over the last couple of months?
Well, Shauna, and first of all, no one knows how this is going to turn out. No one really knows what Elon wants. The lawyers are going to make a lot of money. Those are three truisms. I think that Twitter is outside of Elon's core competency. I think that, not censoring content on Twitter is naive. You can't allow opioid dealers and terrorists on there. So you acknowledge their limits and you own them, like Steve Jobs blocked pornography from Apple. On the other hand, the more you free up content, audience grows, but then companies don't want to be on it because their ads are near all this junk. And, net, I was talking to Roger McNamee recently, and he was telling me, it really is a big failure. And, that's because it's only worth $28 billion. Meta's worth $445 billion. And if you think, you guys, about Twitter's huge influence when it comes to politics and media and celebrity, it's only in the neighborhood of Snap and Pinterest. And Twitter is much more important and has a much higher profile in our society, and yet it has the same market value as those two, as opposed to Meta. And so it punches below its weight.
All right, well, you can check out Andy's column tomorrow on yahoofinance.com. Andy Serwer, Yahoo Finance editor-in-chief. Thanks so much for joining us. Have a great weekend.
You too.